Online child pornography. Pictures of abused children are available around the world for anyone at any time. The number of providers climbs every year, and catching them is anything but easy. The user's seen as a global network. One mouse click is enough to upload child pornography, at which point anyone can view it. German Family Affairs Minister Ursula von der Leyen now intends to set restrictions, even if they interfere with the freedom of the internet.
The freedom of the individual ceases where it grossly violates the freedom or dignity of another, the dignity of a child, the physical inviolability of a child. That applies online and offline.
The minister has sponsored legislation that would make it harder to access sites with child porn. Technological barriers would greatly slow data transfers. Meanwhile, activists, like these in Mainz, reject the minister's plans. These people fear that these barriers wouldn't be restricted to just child pornography. They fear interference in other areas. The word censorship is their rallying cry.
The consequence will be that this blocking system could be used for other content from abroad that someone might decide is unlawful. And these blocks work only on the web, meaning only one part of the internet. In the real parts of the net where this material is swapped and spread, these blocking systems don't work at all. That means that this is ultimately a publicity stunt in which you can stand in front of a camera and raise a stop sign, but which has no effect at all.
The internet community is also defending itself online. Franziska Heine is organizing a challenge to the draft law. Her online petition to the Bundestag found more than 100,000 supporters in a matter of weeks. The internet scene senses Big Brother in the making.
I think there are two things here. First, that a structure is emerging that will be very hard to control, if at all. And second, that the means being used, namely the documentation of child abuse, is unsuited to the stated aim of the law, which is to have this content removed from the net.
Also, blocks are easy to get around. What needs to be done, say experts, is to have the content deleted directly on the provider's servers.
We conducted this experiment. We wrote to companies which have the material on their machines, often without knowing it, and they did respond. We're doing something, but it's not really our job. It's the police's job. That's what they're paid for. And of course, that's what they should do.
They already are. In the Office of Criminal Investigation in Wiesbaden, the activists' arguments don't get much support. Here, so-called internet patrols filter the net every day, looking for criminal networks. Still, the legal basis for a comprehensive blocking system is still missing. Other countries have already gone further.
Overall, the results are very good. The effect is clear. We've determined that it deters people who are latently pedosexual. In other words, those who have an inclination towards collecting or accessing child pornography.
But the investigators know perfectly well that the planned blockades will never completely rid the internet of child pornographers.
There is no 100% solution. Once child porn content is available on the web, it cannot be deleted for once and for all. That's because of the legal underpinnings of the net, the speed with which this content spreads, and the many unknown locations where this content can be saved.
Still, although big holes remain, policymakers want to act. They say it will be a success if even some people trying to access illegal pictures of children were deterred by the blocks.
It's very, very important to me that we don't change the goal here, not by a millimeter. That's to consistently fight child pornography. We don't want to see this stuff.
It's unclear whether the Bundestag will pass the legislation next week, as the government is planning. There are still some legal hurdles. And until then, the gates are still wide open for child pornography.